faster than lightning. Welcome along with absolutely no delay at all to the next round of the Rainbow Racing F4 Championship. We don't have terribly long to get going here. I've hit this grid with a minute to spare, so I'll save the formalities and we'll jump straight into our sprint race here at Mugello. You've never seen timing like that in your entire life, let me tell you that. The field launches off for the first of their 20 minutes into their 40-minute running, and it's Daniel Farr, new driver to the league, leading on the line. Mugello is a fun and exciting track, and over the course of this race, I'm sure I'll be introducing myself and plenty of the field as well. I'm Howie Burrows, and I had to run to make it here. Never count me out. I mean, put it like that. Never count me out. Daniel Farr, Ginger Ayers, Clayton Sanchez, Jamie Hempy, Jessica Perry, and Caitlin Soderholm hitting the grid to start this race faster than lightning. 20 minutes running on our first sprint race, and we reverse the grid as ever. Jim Cunningham out for some important family ceremonies. I described them as an emergency earlier, and it isn't. It's actually doing great, but family comes first. Over your sim racing broadcasting, and that's what I'm here to do. The emergency cover with seconds to go on the dot. And if it's not going out right now, I was given the wrong stream key. Heat 1 running over here. We're going to take these race results and reverse them for the second round. Daniel Farr getting a good launch off the road. Clayton Sanchez in third. Got quite the gap to make up, whereas Ginger Ayers has that draft going well. Let's talk a little bit about Mugello. It's a good track for these Formula cars. That's why they struggle in these things in GT cars. It can be tricky. These cars aren't the easiest either, though. They do lose the rear just that little bit under pressure. They get a little bit of a slip and slide of them, but their downforce helps them attack those corners so strongly. And this long start-finish straight is going to be the source of many passes over our two races. Ginger Ayers is fast, and they're on the rear of Daniel Farr, who almost moves out to block a little bit on the left-hand side. He just about dodges it. Dodges the responsibility of the block, but Ginger Ayers in that team-themed car is well and truly in the rear-view mirror, and that's going to be a chase. She's going to get her own time. Jamie Hempy, new to the league in the good old Marlboro Ferrari. On the back of Clayton Sanchez, teammate of Ginger Ayers, of course. These are the two duels we're going to be encountering throughout this race. Apologies for the incredibly wild drop. You wouldn't believe I got delayed by Southeastern, which happens all the time. We know that this happens. Followed immediately up by having to jump into a taxi to fly across town to make it here on the minute from PC Boot. And a big thank you to Jessica Perry for waiting out all the time, of course, in her gridding to make sure this race comes together. When I make a promise to repay some broadcaster debt, I will do it. I will do it in a way to get everybody a little bit scared. Ginger Ayers. Ayers is probably a better way of saying that. She's our first major chaser here. I think this is going to be a battle for the ages. As Caitlin Soderholm makes an early pit stop, and I'm not sure repairs required for Caitlin Soderholm. She towed to the pit, so we're going to have to keep an eye on what happened to her. I'm not showing that one again. I'm sorry. I had to preload the theme I used for Marconi Entertainment. So we're not affiliated today. That's how quick the turnaround was. Bit of a spin from Caitlin. That shouldn't have caused the need for a tow. Probably another one happened. Where was that? I'm not sure where the tow came from, but here's something else that just happened. Ginger Ayers on the start-finish straight, as I was promising, on the rear bumper of Daniel Farr, and making that pass for good. Ginger was fast throughout that start, didn't quite get that launch off the grid into pole in our open qualifying. No fast repair for Soderholm, so she's going to have to fix that up and hope to get a good launch out for the rest of the race. back to live pictures now. I don't even have a transition graphic. I mean, everything is like holdovers from the channel I usually do production work for. So I just have to like click around like I'm managing some kind of like spaceship around it. Like the colors, the everything. Help me out, rescue me. And trust me, I'm also going to go a little bit insane today. It generally happens when you leave me alone. It generally, like, weird things start happening on broadcasts, and I slowly start to lose my mind. Not too many laps in this early sprint, only 9 planned on the books, and we're done with 3, but Daniel Farr not off the rear. Let's get a lovely onboard lap here from Ginger Ayers around Mugello. I'm not really good at corner names around this track, I'll be totally honest, but she might be able to do a run of this better than I can, as that's Soderholm leaving pit lane. Ginger Ayers gets the fastest lap side by side with Daniel Farr. It's not quite a peaceful lap I was hoping to get, because Farr's throwing it around the outside of turn 1 and a little bit of contact between the two cars. Farr's going to take it. Farr is indeed going to take it. Was it sloppy or was it effective? Let's bring up the replay in order to find out quite what happened there. Farr with the slipstream. We're going to see these drivers trading this back and forth across all of our racing here today. There wasn't contact. It looked a bit shaky from my angle, so it was a very, very clean pass. Held it. No, there was the contact. He goes a little bit in. Not that harsh, though, and that sets him up the inside line. Take the exit out and lead this pack around the track. There was a 3% chance of rain going into this race, and it didn't quite materialize. I mean, that would have been quite the scary rain chance, let me tell you that. Ginger Ayers, I'm going to hover between the two until I get an affirmative answer, which we're not going to get while Perry's racing either. So, you know, she's usually the best to sort of correct me on the record for these sorts of things. But right now, she's got a car and a track to focus on. Doing this just in bandages, I think. Heroic performance. So no matter the pace out there on the track, just hanging it out there. We're proud of you for what you do. Caitlin Soderholm, a lap down after... I'm not really sure what happened to cause the tow. But another draft down the start-finish. This is going to be a race of trading at these places between these top 2 drivers. They're racing well. This time, Ginger's going to go for the outside herself. And she's not alongside enough to make it happen. You can see gravel kicked up on the outside of that turn. That is probably where that comes from. Not made it happen this time. Here's a few more things that happened on the track. It's Caitlin Soderholm's pit exit. Game seemed to think that she had crashed. I think that was just her running very slowly, as you have to do under a speed limit. Jeannie Hempy, though, might have been the source of some of this gravel. Here's our replay. Here's some sliding around, but no, that is Soderholm. Soderholm went off and went wide again on turn 1, and then Hempy does it. Jenny Hempy. I might have been saying Jamie. I literally saw these names seconds beforehand, so I'll do a very nice check and rundown of how to get all these correctly. Apologies for any small mistakes. Y'all know I mean very, very, very well. This chase is still on, and I think it's not going to end for the rest of the race. It's Janine Hempy. She, her. Got it down. That's what good and reasoned research does to you. Janine Hempy with the mistake, but able to keep it on the track without damage. Here comes Ginger Ayers. I'm going to hop between the two to go do it again down the start-finish. A little more wheel banging again. These two aren't afraid of 0x contact, and they've been racing it spectacularly. This time, Ginger's a lot more alongside, but she tries to clear just a little bit before clear. That's cost her speed. Daniel Farr's back on the chase again. Farr, he's not done. But I think they might be done for this lap. A little bit of wheel banging around. I don't have a replay transition because I'm running this on separate software, separate theme. On everything I can pull together at the last second. Yeah, there is a bit of contact. She tries to come across, but she's not clear yet. That's going to kill her momentum rather than Danielle Farr's. Not good enough yet. The chase really raging out there. These two are going to be on each other's stuff, I think. All sprint and then possibly all full race as well. This is only the sprint runs before our feature. We reverse the grid of drivers. So these two are going to have to start from the back and fight their way up the field. Excited to see how they get it done. But right now, Daniel Farr, he wants that sprint win. There's points on the line for it. Tucks in behind. No run. Dips out of line just a little bit too quickly, and it's almost like a parachute. Now he makes a dive for the inside. Not alongside enough. Ginger Ayers keeps it again. From lap 7 out of an estimated 9, meaning that going to be 2 more attempts at that run, and it could be a draft game of who has it on the line. Sometimes races like this are actually won from the driver sitting in P2. And that's a running wide for Farr. Farr there, just that is not quite the line on that corner, and that's going to compromise his speed completely. Catch the on-board on the gyro cam for that one. It's very easy to misjudge and go wide here. I go wide everywhere here. I've never hit an apex at Magellan in my life, and that's just a missed apex on the inside. It's very easy. You could be the next one it happens to. And that has messed up Daniel Farr's chance now. He's been very fast, he's been very effective, but now in 8/10, he might not get the run needed to make the slipstream, certainly not this lap, but he has to stay within touching distance the next time around. It's 1 second between the two. 2 to go, and he's not gaining much ground. Doesn't need to make the pass on this lap, but he does definitely need to be close. Let's keep an eye on the split comparison between the two to work out quite where they gain and lose time over their laps. Daniel's in more control of this car than I would be, but he loses time in the first sector. Gurney did it both apexes perfectly here, but I can see Ginger flying away. Just unlucky to catch that gravel on his time out. I don't think Farr is going to convert this run. I think he lost his chance when he hit that gravel last lap. The apex not quite hit this time. The tilt sort of getting into the system. And this could be Ginger Ayers running away with a fantastic sprint win. But the racing was close. White flags in the air. But it's going to take a mistake now for Ginger to give this up. Fastest lap, 1:48.8. Just went to Ginger Ayers. And Daniel Farr, he's lost touch. He is fast, he is capable, and he's going to get another shot at it, but not quite this time. A little touch on the gravel from Ginger is going to cost her time, but I think she's got enough of a margin now. Another mistake by Ginger. That's uncharacteristic, and I'm afraid to say that's opened up the game now. Daniel Farr, he's within 5/10, and when he's within half a second, that's about the draft range. This has just gone from good to possibly very, very bad very, very quickly. Daniel's going to need a perfect exit at the next couple corners, though. The final lap in the air. Will it be a drag race? I'm not sure there's enough in it this time. Ginger Ayers comes over the line, a sprint winner after a great battle. And I think Daniel Farr, starting ahead of her on the next start, is going to produce all of that same battling yet again. Well earned on the first time around. But the two were tight. Clayton Sanchez finishes third in the sprint. Janine Hempy. Where did I get Janie from? Janine Hempy. She finishes fourth. Jessica Perry. Due to come across the line in fifth with Caitlin Soderholm. A lap down after an incident on track I wasn't quite able to pin down. She's going to get a pole position start next race, though, to try and make up for it. Here comes Jessica. If you saw, I'm obviously not going to share, but if you saw the state she was racing in today, you would understand that any finish is a spectacular one today. But listen, like nothing, sometimes you love sim racing so much that nothing can stop you at the end of the day. Caitlin Soderholm crosses the line. That makes our drivers. And there's more to come, of course. We're going to transition into our feature race, 40 minutes long, but drivers do have 5 minutes of warm-up. And while we do this warm-up, I'm gonna show you a little bit of a guide to the track that's been pre-prepared so that you can learn where to make your moves and where not quite to.
Welcome to Mugello Circuit, a flowing, high-precision track carved into the hills of Tuscany. Let's break down a full lap, turn by turn. We begin at the end of the front straight, approaching turn 1, San Donato. It's a tight right-hand corner with downhill braking. The line tightens at the apex, and the exit opens slightly, ideal for setting up momentum into the next complex. From there, the track climbs into turn 2, Luco, a medium-speed left, followed immediately by turn 3, Poggio Secco, a shallow right. These corners demand balance and precision. Carry too much speed into Luco, and you'll compromise your line into Poggio Secco. Next, we reach turn 4, Materassi, and turn 5, Borgo San Lorenzo. This double apex sequence requires a clean entry and careful weight transfer. The second apex is tighter, so throttle application must wait until the car is settled. Turns 6 and 7, Casanova and Savelli are a fast left-right combination over a subtle crest. This section rewards confidence in direction change. Cut too shallow, and you'll miss the ideal setup for the uphill run that follows. Now we flow into turns 8 and 9, Arrabbiata 1 and 2, two long sweeping right-handers. The first has a slightly increasing radius, while the second flattens out as you exit. Line discipline here is critical. Compromise one, and you'll lose rhythm through both. Next is turn 10, Scarperia, followed by turn 11, Pelagio. These are tight and technical with limited grip. Entry speed must be controlled and the rotation needs to be crisp to maintain a clean run into the following section. The track now drops slightly into turn 12, Corintaio. It's a long double apex right. Brake early, open the corner initially, then tighten in late. Getting a stable exit here is crucial for the final sector, turns 13 and 14. Biondetti 1 and 2 form a fast, narrow chicane. The first part is tighter than it looks, and the second demands immediate direction change. Avoid overcommitting. This is a precision zone. Finally, we arrive at turn 15. Buccini, a wide, looping, left-hand hairpin. Early turn-in sets up a sweeping arc through the apex. Focus on maximising exit speed onto the long front straight. That's a full lap around Mugello circuit. Every corner flows into the next. Timing, rhythm, and setup are everything.
The feature race at Mugello Dawn, brought to you by Motormouth Broadcasting. I've had a little bit more time to mentally prepare myself, obviously. You know, we had a great sprint race, and now I feel less panicked. I feel like I'm at zen with myself. This is how you're meant to do this. Round 4 takes us to Mugello. Next week, we're at Spa-Francorchamps before the mid-season break. A classic at Spa, an absolute classic. I think there might be a chance of rain. There was a tiny chance of rain for today's race. Ginger and Daniel produced a great race, and I don't think it's over between them. They start from the back of the grid. Drivers just finishing a warm-up right around now. Feature race much longer, of course. Hitting Soderholm, hitting the track, trying to make up for her mistakes the first time. She has a pole position, grid start. We've seen some wacky starts already in this league. Everybody congratulates, by the way, Jim's son on the graduation. He deserves a respite. Family calls. And I'm just happy to be here bringing this here for you. It's less stressful than I thought. You can rush like crazy. Starting, we didn't quite get to do a starting grid for the sprint race. So how about this? We'll get you one for the feature. 6 cars hit the grid in the reverse of the setup of the sprint results. Caitlin Soderholm next to Jessica Perry on the front. Janine Hempy next to Clayton Sanchez in 3 and 4. Now for that epic battle, Danielle Farr and Ginger Ayers starting from the back of the grid. They're going to have a lot to punch through, and I think they're going to be able to do it. Waiting 30 more seconds to grid, and Jessica does not need to wait the maximum time. They don't really get the show on anymore. So now everybody that's making me wait is just doing it for fun. And anyone that's listening in, they don't need to save replays. Although that was a good backup idea. It was a good idea. Due to get the grid going on, drivers have hit the track. Should be 40 minutes of running this time around. Make it 30. Maths are hard. And away we go. A good launch from Caitlin Soderholm. But Janine Hempy very, very fast through the middle, as well as Daniel Farr. Ginger Ayers not quite having the launch we expected. Soderholm Sanchez and Perry lead into the first turn. Going wide, Soderholm. That gives the inside to Sanchez. Daniel Farr alongside. It's Janine Hempy up at the back, but the racing is tight and close. And look at how Farr's made it up, and that was unfortunate. I sort of caught that on the corner of my eye, and that is what we call a wreck. That's not a useful camera. This is meatball required for Jessica Perry. I think this started with her very low grip at the start of these races. Where did it start? A little bit of netcode contact, I'm afraid, with a few cars just sent in for the ringer there. Ginger Ayers caught up, unfortunately, but it looked pretty netcodey to me. I mean, those cars, really, I'm amazed they got away with that. They didn't get away with that. On a fairer day, I think the drivers would get away with that. Call it a racing incident in my books. That's what I would say. I'm not the judge, jury, and executioner of the broadcast, of course. Unfortunately, that's put a bit of damper on proceedings now. Ginger Ayers is running. Her car not terribly damaged. I think there's a little bit on the front wing. It's going to hurt her speed, but she doesn't have a meatball. Gone away quite well there, but Janine Hempy, that's a meatball. Caitlin Soderholm gets away with it. Jessica Perry, that's a meatball, and running that slowly, that's possibly some serious damage. Daniel Farr has a win now for free to claim if he wants to go for it. He's going to have to get past Ginger's teammate, Clayton Sanchez. We've seen how good the draft is down this start-finish straight, though, so it's not due this time. Oh, Clayton Sanchez, no. That's not what we wanted to see from him. I think he just might have lost it and given up that lead. Oh, it's a lock-up on the outside. That turn one is misleading and it's difficult. And now I am left in the void without even a partner to talk to. 27 minutes of surely some great hot lapping coming up from Daniel Farr. All he needs to do is keep it on the track now in order to come home with a win. But we've seen mistakes abound from everyone on the track. So we might just need to keep an eye. Ginger Ayers clearly not down and out, and clearly not incapable of getting this P2 from Clayton Sanchez. 2:05 last lap around, but I think that was the time she was collected. We're expecting 15 laps on this run. We do have a chance of rain at Spa, I've been told on good authority, but it's no guarantee. 45%. This was a 3% chance rain race. Imagine if this one showed up wet. Ginger not ready for the draft quite yet, but Daniel Farr running away like a speeding bullet. I will say, Ginger is not seriously damaged. Let's compare our leader's fastest lap with this, and you'll see what I mean. That is not a very big difference. Ginger Ayers only 100th behind. We'll keep an eye on their fastest laps as they go around, but Ginger's got a driver to chase down, and she has more laps to do it in. 25 of our most precious minutes. I do see damage on that front wing. There is definitely minor damage. Not the sort you'd want it replaced for in this situation, no. But that means that these fastest laps could be just a little bit different. I'll keep an eye on the last laps. They were super, super tight and close last time. I as well have a slower lap this time because she did go wide into the gravel. This time it's a 1:49.9 versus a 1:49.8. Ginger is faster. That's Clayton. So leader and Ginger. Last lap's faster. Only by a hair. She's definitely making up grounds on Clayton Sanchez first. I'm seeing Ginger Ayers go wide every once in a while, and this track does have very, very misleading apexes. It's one of the things that makes it so challenging, one of the things that makes me suck so much at it. I'm not going to complain about the track in this instance because it files under the category of skill issue. These cars are great around here with downforce, although I will contend that F1 cars were not very suitable for this track, and that we should exercise restraint before doing something like that again. Ginger Ayers, see if she's fast enough this time across the line. She does have the slipstream from Clayton Sanchez. 6 seconds the gap now. Daniel Farr puts on a flyer though. Fastest of the race, a 1:49.3. That last lap from Ayers isn't fastest because it's not legal. That's a lockup from Clayton Sanchez. And that P2 returns to glory. They're running side by side. Clayton's not going to give this one up for free. I think I mistakenly identified them as teammates. Don't think the teammates here today. I remember there is a purple teammate, but that Deviant design, which I love, by the way, it's a great design on those cars. It's not a Deviant design on Clayton's car. If Ginger gets a good exit from these few corners, she's finally going to be in striking distance of Clayton Sanchez to finally make the draft pass work. But the car really bogs down around these sorts of corners of the track. It is difficult. I think she's gotten the best exit she has this time. Four attempts to the car in front. And that might be enough to enable it. Daniel Farr, another fastest. 49.2 now. And a whole second faster than Ginger's, so... Ginger tries to make the move happen this time. She's still not really completely alongside. Yet again, it's not this time. Whoa, you didn't see that? Nah, you saw nothing there. iRacing UI? Haha, just you're having a laugh, mate. You're having a laugh. You didn't see anything. This is real racing. This is F4. Simulation? You think we live in some sort of simulation? That's a really funny joke, but, you know, also a little bit insulting to us. Very wide by Ginger. Somehow she keeps the speed. I mean, that was touchy. Being able to run full speed through there was a bit touchy. I was half wondering that a wreck was due. Clayton's been doing a great job holding off Ginger Ayers. She was significantly faster in the first race, but it hasn't materialized for her in this feature. That damaged front wing is playing a factor in making that car uncontrollable, but you have to defend well on a track restraint this long to hold someone off too. Will she do it this time? Car feels draggy. Now she goes for the dive. And that's Ginger Ayers up into second. Losing a lot of time to Daniel Farr every lap. Because of the damage. Going to see if Clayton Sanchez could hold it together in P2. In P3 even. That's how numbers work. And potentially sneak his way back up. The chase hasn't been there over the course of this lap, and Clayton Sanchez is slowly losing touch of Ginger Ayers. The gap 5/10. How much is that going to be improved in the slipstream? Whoa, is that a fastest lap from Ginger? That is a fastest lap from Ginger, 1:49.26. So she's not giving up on this chase either. That was a difference of 4/10 in the lap time between the two. At the same time, Clayton isn't totally out of touch either. 3/10, he's been gaining. And this is about the window that if you're in by the final sector, you've got a good run. Four attempts, it could be done. Daniel Farr claps back with a faster lap. We're in the 49.1s now. Ginger only setting a 49.4. 15 minutes to go. That makes about 8 laps. We're halfway and the battles aren't done. Clayton Sanchez isn't going to give this one up for anything. any extended silences tempted me to catch my breath and my attention span. Unfortunately, you know, doing things solo takes a bit of energy out of you. Especially after all the stuff I've done today. Takes a bit of energy. And so sometimes I just need to let the cars sing a little bit. Big open wheel updates coming soon at iRacing, of course. The major IndyCar update, including wet tyres, is coming. Alongside the Super Formula SF23 wet tyres. I love the Super Formula Light, but let me tell you, that SF23 is one of the nastiest, hardest cars you'll ever drive. But when you get it down, there's nothing in the world that is nearly as much of a thrill. Wet tyres on that thing, that scares me. See, as a NASCAR fan, I'm really excited for the Gen 4. It goes without saying, those are the coolest stock cars in the world. And they're enough to convert anyone into a fan. But I'll stop talking about Circle Car for just a minute, because I recognise that I've already gotten everybody to tune themselves away. The Ferrari Challenge car looks interesting. Faster on the straights than the GT3. That thing's a nippy little beast. It won't make the Ferrari Challenge Series tolerable, but I might just have to give it a shot anyway. Ginger Ayers not able to make the attack in the last few laps. Almost got there down the start-finish, but Clayton Sanchez is not able to make the attack. Ginger Ayers is positioning her car very, very well to block off the gravel being kicked up on the track. I think a few things may have happened. Here's Caitlin Soderholm. This is a really hard combo. So everybody at the wrecks, I am not daring to make fun of them. It's so easy to lose the car all around this track. It really, really tests you to your limits. Jessica Perry did similar. Every exit on this track just makes you think I can push that a little bit harder. It's a bit too much change of direction too quickly. Just keeping this car forwards is the challenge very often. I took it out of traffic to avoid the dangerous rejoin. Now they're up on the lap traffic of Jessica Perry. This is actually going to help Ginger quite a lot, because there's a bit of draft and slipstream. Ginger could stick behind Jessica Perry here, down that start-finish straight for a lap, eventually be let through. It's not going to happen because Jessica's going to give up the place early. But man, there would have been some strategy at play, but it would have taken a bit of coordination. Janine Hempy is on the back of Caitlin Soderholm. Do not go off the moment I look at you, because it makes me feel bad. It makes me feel like I caused that. I'll keep an eye on that battle and update you if that looks like it's due to explode. Five laps to go here at Mugello. And Clayton Sanchez has never truly left the window of being able to make this battle real. I've been showing the battle for first. Perhaps we need to focus on the battle for second. We'll give a spotlight to Daniel Farr. He's been running exactly as he needs to. 2 easy wins. Didn't even have to take advantage of the carnage to do it. He was well and truly ahead of the field before even the first turn this time around. If Clayton wants to get there, he's going to have to get a few good laps, though, because he's losing touch out of a second, and you need to pull off a fantastic lap just to take that win. Otherwise, you're already not getting draft down the start-finish with that sort of gap. Not quite the apex hit there, but still a faster entry. I'll be honest, I was taking a well-needed real-life functions break during the track guide, so I don't actually have the names down to memory. This should be Borgo San Lorenzo? Casanova down the hill into Savelli. God, I love the Italian names. Then we have Arrabbiata 1 and 2. Nice and banked. But watch the exit on Arrabbiata 2, because the off tracks here are punishing. I wouldn't be surprised if someone gets DQ'd or a drive-through penalty on the back of those. Through Scarperia and Palagio. These are some inventive names, I've got to say. They probably mean something like turn in Italian. Coroneteo? No. Coroneteo. That's Coroneteo. For Riondetti 1 and 2. I don't know Italian for numbers, I'm afraid. Busine. So round it out. Clayton's not lost it. Not lost it at all. This was quite a good lap. It'll be faster than Ginger's last lap. Keep an eye on the corner. Only by a hair. Hard braking zone here is San Donanto. We have Luco on the left, and then finally Poggio Secco on the right-hand turn, which is my favourite name. Poggio Secco is like some PogChamp stuff. Poggers! Poggio Secco, man. Four attempts make it 5. It's possible that Clayton has the draft this time around if he has a few good exits. Put on the power on the exit. Hope that Ginger has had a worse one than you. 4 attempts, it's kind of enough. And fly down that straight. There's speed, but is there enough to make the outbreak happen? Not quite. 2 tenths at a minimum. But Clayton Sanchez has 3 laps to make that move happen. Black flag for Jessica Perry. I think that's a result of off-tracks. I won't go back to review, but I think she's had an off-track and mistake. And finally, the 14X has stacked up. Probably a spin on top of that. And that's a drive-through penalty for hitting that count. Still 410, still just hasn't gotten in that range. It's going to be frustrating here for Clayton Sanchez. The battle's good, but it's going to be frustrating. The run hasn't materialized. Daniel Farr's about to take the white flag, I think. He's got a few more turns to do it in. And then that'll be all she wrote for the end of the race. And a big slowdown there for Sanchez. That's cost his chance to battle big time. Ayers had some unbelievable corners. Here comes Daniel Farr to take the white flag. Caitlin Soda home. Just took a meatball flag. No, I promised I wouldn't show that again. Ah, the button is just right there. I promised I wouldn't show that again. Jeff would have to pay me for that level of coverage on purpose. A little mistake from Caitlin. That sends her into the barriers, and that's going to be the end of her race. Janine Hempy also taking the 14X black flag. Now I'm wondering whether one of these drivers up front's going to do it. And unless there's a big mistake from Ayers, I think she's held onto this P2. And excellently slow with a damaged car and a constantly snapping Clayton Sanchez. Daniel Farr not too many turns ahead, and we haven't given him too many kudos in this sprint race, but it's worth doing. It's been a faultless and fast run. Fastest lap of the race. A great start in the sprint. A great start in the feature. Perfect running all around. Just a few more turns to go to send it for a double victory. Here comes Daniel Farr. A great double victory. Ginger Ayers holds off Clayton Sanchez for the top three. Janine Hempy will cross in P4 after passing Jessica Perry. And with Caitlin Soda home, we might actually take that position. Did you see Perry make a mistake off the track? That's going to be Soda home taking it. Here comes Janine. A little run through the gravel perhaps to celebrate. For everybody that hits the track, we're proud of you and we're happy. We're happy that you do it. Jessica Perry, with a little bit more time, would be able to win this on the line, I think. Here comes the start-finish. We might have a drag race. It's not going to be won by Jessica, but that was tight. That was tight. I don't quite have the time and energy in me to interview too many drivers unless one winner wants to show up. I'm not going to hold my breath for hours to make it happen. Let me get your race results. Daniel Farr finishes 8 seconds ahead down the road, ahead of Ginger Ayers. That same result from both races. In fact, Clayton Sanchez finishes third, with Janine Hempy in fourth. Caitlin Soderholm finishes fifth, and Jessica Perry, also a lap down, almost takes that drag race across the line. Caitlin's friend forgot she was driving and distracted her with ice cream. It's the story I hear. I would say it happens to the best of us, but that is an unusual one. And thank you for watching. We're here, hopefully back with Jim, same time next week, on the same YouTube channel at Spa-Francorchamps. Ain't that a Formula Classic? I'm awaiting championship standings. Just gonna let the machine just sort of chug them through. These numbers are hard. I hope she's not doing them manually. I was told about a minute. It's been a minute. You're making me hang. Let me bring back those race results so we can just look at them a little bit longer. That's gonna buy me time. Jessica, you have until the end of the song. I don't know, I think I'll hold you to that one, but I know you can hear me as well, so it's funny. Someone doesn't loop, what a shame. I think I'll have these up for the beginning of next race. No, because she gets them right now. The championship savior here. The quickest download in history, it's coming. She got it to the bell as much as I got it to the bell for the start of this broadcast. Think of it like that. So she's entitled to leave it to the last possible second, because so did I. Ginger Ayers now leads the championship over Clayton Sanchez. They're going to keep having a battle down to the line. Ian Miller, hoping to return one day. He's been a great racer. Over Jane Astra, Jessica Perry, and Daniel Farr, who was very fast, and if he returns, will be an immediate challenger for that championship. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much to everyone competing. I'm Howie Burrows, and wishing you a great week and a great weekend. It's not over yet, is it? Americans have their Memorial Day. Hope you have a good Memorial Day weekend as well.